Dr. Tan, sorry, I can't see clearly. Dr. Tan, is it? Yes. You have a clarification for Ms. Chia?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I'd like to raise a clarification for Ms. Kuik Shiao Yin, please.
Yes, please do so.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I listened with great interest to Ms. Kuik's speech, and she mentioned that some economists were citing an IMF recommendation relating to Singapore's reserves. From what I understand of social media, I was wondering if she's referring to the IMF June 2016 guidance note on the assessment of reserve adequacy, please.
Ms. Kuik?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, Dr. Tan.
So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I happen to have seen this online over the weekend as well, and it being a part of some serious-minded commentaries, I took some time to read it, even though there's no skills future credit involved. And I noted that on page 6 of the report, it mentions that foreign assets in the form of reserves can form an important part of a country's savings to ensure intergenerational equity. And secondly, that in a later part of the report, it also mentions on page 22 that the recommended ratio of report doesn't mention protection against currency speculation and other forms of stress that may subject a country's reserves to.
What's your clarification, Dr. Tan?
So my clarification, Mr. Deputy Speaker, is that I'm not sure, at least speaking as a layperson, how Ms. Kuik's speech in mentioning the IMF and Singapore's reserves leads to the recommended conclusion that we might not be maintaining the reserves as much as we should.
Ms. Kuik, would you want to respond?
I've no idea what you want to ask me, so could you clarify that again? I'm sorry, it's me. I couldn't hear what you wanted to ask.
Yes, Dr. Tan.
Or alternatively, it might be just me, because I fully acknowledge, I fully acknowledge that like Ms. Kuik, I'm also not trained as an economist, and as an interested layperson, I'm trying to understand the argument better. But would Ms. Kuik agree that maybe we shall leave it to more expert folk to educate both of us on this issue?
I think in the speech, I said quite clearly I was a terrible econ student and I don't really know much, and I actually would appreciate I would appreciate the government's clear and easy to understand response to that, because I didn't know how to make sense of it. Yes.
All right. Ms. Chia, you are an economic student. You want to raise a clarification?
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. You wouldn't want to know my economics grade. But I do have a clarification, but I do not know whether, on a point of order, it is proper for me to ask. I do not direct it to a particular member, but to various members who spoke largely about equality or inequality within our community. Am I permitted to seek the clarification?
Ms. Chia, you can ask a clarification if you're asking someone to clarify, but if you're asking the General House, then okay. Yeah, no one would want to answer you.
Thank you, sir. If I may ask the Honourable Member Ms. Kuik, and if I recall correctly, also Ms. Sylvia Lim, I think there had been much discourse on inequality in our community, and I'm just wondering whether the honourable members were thinking of inequality or inequity. Are they thinking about the government or the society not having taken enough measures to make sure that everyone is equal, or are they talking about not taking enough measures to equip and level up each child to their potential? Thank you.
Ms. Kuik, I'm afraid Ms. Sylvia Lim is not in, so you have the answer. I mean, she asked either one, and only you are here.
Kena arrow. I guess we may differ in our thinking about like how much is enough help for people. So I speak especially for children for single mothers and foreign moms. I mean, we've talked a long time in this house about the differences of views about why they can't get adequate housing and all that. So yeah. So yes, I think more help could be given.
Ms. Chia, you are happy with the answer?
May I seek another clarification?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Only to Ms. Kuik, though.
Yes, Ms. Kuik. The point I wanted to make was that there is a difference between an inequity and an equality. Nobody is equal, and I do not think that it is ever possible to make everyone equal. So perhaps you could be referring to inequity rather than inequality. Would that be correct? Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Kuik, are you referring to inequality or inequity? Would you want to clarify? Are you clear on the clarification raised by Ms. Chia?
Could you redefine inequity and inequality in your point of view?
So she's asking Ms. Chia to clarify.
Thank you. My understanding of equality is that everyone gets the same treatment. In equity, when we talk about equitable treatment, people may not get the same treatment, but it is desired to achieve the same outcome. So perhaps you could be thinking of requesting for more equitable treatment rather than equal treatment. Because when people come from different backgrounds, giving equal treatment will result in a larger gap. Yeah. Thank you.
Ms. Kuik, is that clarification of her clarification clear? You have something that you want to know? So we'll, yes, wait, I let Ms. Kuik decide whether she wants to answer anything first. Yeah, all right?
I don't think, I don't want to hold up the debate, and I'm quite happy to discuss with the member like in the tea room later about inequity and inequality.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Brickham?
I'll try my best to keep things simple. I think listening to the debate, I suspect the question from Dr. Tan to Ms. Kuik was actually whether she thinks MAS is putting too much away in reserves. I understand that was the point of her speech, but I guess she can clarify, and I'm sure the finance minister can answer that question. That is just what I think that's the only clarification is Ms. Kuik saying that MAS is putting aside too much. For what I understand from Ms. Chaw's point, I think her point is that equity is about fairness, right? So if someone does more, they deserve more, whereas equality is everyone gets the same. And I think what you are asking, Ms. Kuik, is whether or not she's looking for fairness to everyone as opposed to equality. Would that be, okay, that's my contribution to clarify everywhere. That's
Mr. Vikram, you are seeking a clarification from Ms. Kuik, or you're trying to clarify Ms. Chia's clarification? Do you have a specific clarification required from Ms. Kuik?
Well, I guess if both say yes, then the problem is solved, but it's to both of them, yes. One,
all right.
If that is a question, and two, if that was,
I think Ms. Kuik is happily seated there, and we will not let the debate carry on the clarifications. All right?